Okay, so this is an introduction video for online teaching. So my name is David. I'm an English teacher and a math teacher. I live in Argentina. I'm from England, so I'm a native English speaker. What I'd really like to do, I'm a native English speaker. What I'd really like to do is to teach mathematics in English on the internet. It'd be really cool. Um, I've worked for 8 years in a private institute teaching English. I trained in England in Nottingham University to be a teacher, a secondary school teacher. And this year I just opened up my own institute, my own private business, which is going okay. I live in Argentina, and the economic situation here is really bad. So the money is not worth anything. So I'm gonna start teaching online because I can provide very competitive rates. Looking at the other profiles, I see the teachers they charge about $15 upwards, US dollars upwards, and because I'm a native English speaker, I can give you the benefits of a native English speaker, but I can give you at a cheaper price. Here in Argentina, I earn about $4 an hour, so I'm going to charge about $10 an hour online, which I think is a very competitive rate for a native English speaker. Like I said, I like to do English. I have 8 years of teaching English experience and teaching maths experience. I understand the language completely in ins and outs and everything. I normally work with primary, secondary school, primary school children and secondary school children and adults. Um, I normally work in where I'm working now. I normally work in small classes of about 2 or 3 students. I prefer small classes because I can really get to know the students and I can work with them on an individual basis. Um, I've made some innovations in education, which I've completely changed my classes. The last year, the last couple of previous years, I was using books a lot, which I think a lot of teachers use. And now I've stopped using books and I've really taken things much more into my own hands. The advantage of doing this is that my students, or the English students, can really learn to speak a lot quicker. My goal is to make, my objective is to make the students speak as quickly as possible. Once we can speak, we're flying, and once the students become really fluent, they can learn a lot quicker. And then we can go back and work on things like grammar. I'm not really interested on indirectly with students working on grammar. Depends on what your motivations are. If you have to pass a test, okay, we can do grammar. If you want to speak the language, we're going to start speaking from day one. I use mnemonic techniques to help you speak, to help you remember things. So I do things like I speak Spanish, so I use I teach. I'm teaching primarily in English and Spanish, so I use like English and Spanish techniques to help you remember new words. They're really effective. Also, I have an interest in things like neural networks. I'm using techniques from neural networks to help your memory. I figure if I can understand how a machine learns, I can understand how humans learn. I've studied a lot about learning in general. I'm really keen on education. I guess this video should be telling you about how I teach. It's an introductory video, right? So I've made quite a few videos on YouTube. I have my own channel. So I should be telling you things like English or maths. I teach maths like I teach English, basically, and I teach English like I teach maths because I'm a math teacher from here. So I teach maths using real techniques. I tell you what, I teach English and maths more like I am a carpenter teaches carpentry. You know, I show you how to do it, and then I walk you through the steps about how to do it. I don't like this. I don't like the model of the teacher explains and the students complete the tasks, um, because I find that very disengaging. I find it very boring. I mean, I find my students find it very disengaging. My students find it very boring, and that's coming from lots of years of experience. I've seen that over the years, and that's why I've changed my style of teaching. I try to pass my expertise onto my students, just the same way as an apprentice or an expert passes his knowledge onto an apprentice. I like this kind of model of teaching a lot better than traditional sitting in a classroom listening to a teacher. I mean, if you wanted to sit in a classroom listening to a teacher, wouldn't you do that? I mean, in your country. This is a different style. One-to-one teaching or tutoring is much more like how do you learn hands-on things. It's much more effective. It's a lot quicker as well. Like I say, my objective is to teach. It's my students to learn quickly and effectively. I think that's enough for an introductory video. If you want to know more, come to some of my classes. I think the first class is free, so check it out.